start. They look great. They're taking them to the wire. And so you've got those two, which are considered the favorites. But as you said, Built by Gamers here at 1-1, Homeless here with some wins as well. They want to kind of steal one of those spots in the bracket.
Yeah, for sure. And even for me, when I predicted the two teams making out of this group, I actually have Built by Gamers as my second team moving out over 100 Thieves. Now that you have Homeless, so Homeless basically just built this squad for this tournament. So it's the first time that we see this lineup. So we're talking about Def, we're talking about Poise, Superman, Lasky, and Som. So this lineup, when you're looking at it on paper, it sounds really good, but do they have that synergy? And we'll soon find out, because we're finally live here in this pistol. We will have Homeless on the attacker side, and then we will have, of course, BBG on the defensive side as they're pushing aggressively on a big flank, looking to play a retake inside this A site.
Yeah, this is a very aggressive push out from Site B with all three members coming up on the flank here in this short A position. And we can see ob-wiz with a nice headshot there, taking out Psalm. And now it's suddenly a 5v4 scenario. We've got Brimstone on the side of BBG, which is likely going to be potentially Torque here. No, I apologize. That was wrong, but he had taken some damage, and all of a sudden we're down to a 3v1. Make that a 3v none. And it's going to go on the side of Homeless. That is a successful attack round.
Yeah, it started off pretty well, at least for ob-wiz and company of Built by Gamers, showing that even though Riot kind of nerfed the jumping classic burst, it's still actually quite good. So he jumps across, gets that pop in the face, but they tried to go for that retake, but it was just a nice hold there for the team of Homeless on the attacker side. They planted default at the PC. They pushed through U at the same time too. So not giving an advantage for the defenders to come back as well from the spawn side. It's actually quite tough. When you already have three guys flanking from the back, who else is going to move out from the B side? Not much, right? But in this round, it's going to be another aggressive round here for Built by Gamers, pushing down towards this A short side. And it's a trade after trade, but a 3 versus 3 that kicks off very well this ego for the defenders. So far, though, the Cypher is still lurking for Homeless over towards the B side, and that should be Def. So he's going to try to clear that out while the other ones are slowly falling back.
Yeah, an absolute flurry of action there at the start as Built by Gamers again came out very aggressively trying to push despite being on defense. Following that exchange, we had a couple of trades. A lot of utility went out, and now we're seeing a rotation from the attackers from Homeless as they're coming over to this mostly uncontested Site B. Yes, we see, well, I was about to say Pain lurking, but unfortunately Def makes short work of that. So this is going to be another plant and a numbers advantage on the side of Homeless as they take up these post-plant positions.
That's right. So they do have that plan pretty much at what I would like to call default, because when people want to plan it safe, they're going to go towards that left side, because playing on the right side of the tin, you could get kind of pushed from the spawn if nobody's really watching it from hookah. So they're planning it pretty much for Octagon at the garden. Paranoid to come out from Bo. He does get a nice headshot onto Lasky, though. He picked up that Phantom from that previous round. But you do have Nicholas pushing forward, going to tap on that spike, but a crossfire set up here from the hookah and also from the tin of Superman and Def. But no matter what, though, you still have to give for BBG to have such a good eco to get 3 kills, almost a 4th onto that one. That's going to hurt the economy of the attacker side of Homeless. That could maybe turn things around for them. But one thing you have to notice here, Charmer, is that BBG, you mentioned it before we went on air, that they've been playing Sageless since yesterday, and they continue to do so.
Yeah, it's a bit mind-blowing. Back when they were Code 7 and I covered them for the MomoCon event, they had Torque playing a Sage anchor, always played Sage, and so far they have not selected Sage a single time in this Invitational. It is a bit out of the norm. Yes, she's taken some nerfs, but she still can be very, very good for your squad, help control things. Now, with them pushing out so frequently, it makes sense that perhaps they don't want to sit back and wait.
Yeah, so you still have Def now lurking towards his B side. You had some sort of an aggressive push that was getting ready to get executed from BBG towards that long B side, but you see the split coming in from A now. It is going to be Homeless focusing on that side. Def still lurking towards B to cut the rotations. The wall's going to come up as well, so I kind of like this too. They're smoking towards all the way towards the back. Usually you see the smokes from the Brimstone coming towards the APC so they can wall it off and plant it that side, but now they plant it all the way towards back U and towards the spawn side. And now ob-wiz is going to rotate, not working out here. Foe moving forward, Pythian's that 11 HP, but they still manage to take down Superman, and Foe still moves in forward, another headshot onto Poise, and they're going to come in finally for the defuse, and they only lost 1 player out of that, so the A players that play that A site did a great job actually to just stay alive and wait for their teammates.
Yeah, that was a beautiful round by Foe. Was fantastic at picking up the headshots. I'm personally really happy to see him back on Omen. You and I, before the broadcast, were kind of talking about how he'd played Phoenix solely so far in this event, but he's very well known for his Omen. And with Nicholas off of Omen, that means Foe gets to pick it back up, and that gives them a lot of utility on this map. We see a number of characters with smokes. They've got Jet, they've got Brimstone, they've got Omen. Sight is going to be a nightmare for the opposing squad. Now we can see Superman here creeping up. They're going to try to take this B site. We got the drone coming out. They'll make short work of it, but it does telegraph that they are, in fact, there. No rotations for BBG away from A site yet, so this will be a 5v3. They are pushed heavy up, and, well, they make short work of death before getting a trade there. Torque picks up a 3 count, taking down Lasky, Superman, and Poised before Nicholas cleans it up, and that was a easy defense. It's over in a snap of your fingers.
No, definitely. Another time when they're actually just focusing on Garden. So it seems as though on this B side, they kind of really like to play that hookah passively. Give them hookah, fight them back from long B, at least so far from what we see here from Built by Gamers. But at the same time, we haven't seen the full gun round from either of these teams. Now that they know that it's going to be a full gun round on both sides, there's an opportunity for them to change that a little bit. And you can see it. Already, you have the Omen Foe heading right now inside that hookah. What he could do as well is paranoia towards that B side if they want to push aggressively onto B long. But he's going to paranoia towards that front side instead of the hookah ramp. Orbital strike to come down and push Torque back, and that's going to give a lot of match control rather for the attackers of Homeless. But Foe still gets the first kill onto Lasky. Crossfire set up as well. Torque is going to try to land a few with the Hunter's Fury, but it's not going to land any of the shots. One of them actually went through the teleporter to save himself, and that was actually Som.
And that is a great pickup there by Poised. I love the map awareness by Homeless. They said, okay, they've been pushed up into the garden a few times. Let's try to hit them with the orbital strike. Torque punishes Poised there, though, and now we're back to a, well, scratch that. With Som taking down ob-wiz, it's going to be an even 3v3. We see the rotation here. Homeless heading over to Site A. It's Lone Cypher on this site, so going to have to stall for a little bit or wait for the squad to come on over. The plant's coming down, and as we can see here, Payne not really making his presence felt yet, waiting for the reinforcements, and now we have Foe up in heaven, kind of pre-firing through the smoke. The smoke is now lifted, and this is where the fireworks are likely going to come out. Of course, I say that and they make me a liar.
Well, at least you have the dark cover that came from the short side. Def is watching that crossfire, that push from the U-Haul. He does get the first kill onto Payne, and now they're rotating from the Tetris side. Nice molly to come in that was set up here from the attacker side, so that's going to burn Torque. Torque has to look for some kills now, but Superman is winning from the A short side, gets that pick off, and the round comes in there for Homeless to regain the lead into this matchup. But that's what I was trying to tell you, Charmer. Those smokes, as you can see, they're actually not being thrown towards an APC wall, kind of like what you kind of see towards the unranked matches, pub matches where a Sage wall usually happens to get thrown there, and it covers up the APC towards the shower side. They're actually just using a smoke to basically cover the back spawn, the U, and even the heaven on top of that. So if they have to play it super passively, then they're actually forcing BBG to always have to play a retake on the A side.
And it does look like the plan is potentially A this time around. They're going to go hard into the showers. ob-wiz does get that pick on Def, which is going to give them a numbers advantage on defense. But unfortunately, again, it's poor Payne kind of by himself. Nope, not by himself any longer after Lasky hits him with the rocket. But trying to hold down that Site A all alone. And again, as you said, they're going to be forcing BBG into a retake scenario here. Now, the good news is they are going to spread out. They're going to have a couple coming from Teleporter. And then we obviously have ob-wiz there on the backside. And this is a great pick here by Fa, taking down Superman.
So Boys now one of the new additions. Younger players here from the Counter-Strike team gets picked up by Torque. They're pushing in towards spawn, but Som wins that fight versus ob-wiz as well. So now you do have a 3-on-2 situation. Hunter's Fury is still up though. Now an orbital strike that's gonna take Som down. They both die simultaneously though. So that's gonna give a chance here for the retake to come through for Built by Gamers and tie this matchup up 3-3. So a great job by them so far on this retake. And you were mentioning here, Charmer, like playing solo on the A site, it's something that we sometimes see, actually. When you do have a Cypher playing that area, you have that camera up, he's already watching the camera and playing you. So if you actually have a Cypher playing Ace for other teams, for example, like TSM, they kind of have somebody else like Subrosa playing the Brimstone inside you at the same time too. But it seems as though BBG seems comfortable with playing a solo A and faster rotates instead.
Yeah, it does seem like that's their plan, and overall I think I've enjoyed what their game plan has been overall. I like them playing a bit up, and especially when you have 3 characters with smokes, I enjoy them playing hookah passively as well. Let them come out into the open where you can kind of confuse them, and it does look like Homeless is going to make a rush for Site A here yet again. They have kind of figured out their strategy. Homeless has been very, very good at recognizing the patterns of BBG so far and trying to counter him. That's a beautiful molly where the spike was planted, but it does not get any kills, just damage on the Sova there, and this is going to be a kill. However, Pain taking down Poise. Nicholas got that pick on Psalm as well. Superman takes down Foe. Lasky and Nicholas getting some trades, and still a numbers advantage on the side of Built by Gamers. Pain taking down Superman means it's up to just Def here to defend the spike. He's got to do it through this utility and a numbers disadvantage as well.
Okay.
That was close.
That was a sick shot, actually, because it was pinged from the side of the attacker so that Death could try to spray through the cyber cages, through the brimstone smokes as well, that they knew he was actually playing BBG, that is, knew that Death was actually playing towards the short A. But as he was trying to spray across the diffuser, ob-wiz just decided to land a shot through the smoke, connect in the body, take him down, and take the lead back for Team Built by Gamers. At the same time, though, that was an eco going through for the attackers, so a good job at least for Homeless to get that spike down. They had 3 abilities, 3 ultimates to work with that they didn't use, so at least they kind of forced Pain to use his so they could have a better retake for Built by Gamers. But this time, that they have still the Hunter's Fury, a Res, and a Neural Theft, that's going to give a chance here for Homeless to maybe turn things around on this 8th round, rather.
Yeah, Homeless needs to put it together because it is full buys all the way around on BBG side, and they have ob-wiz with that operator. That is the position he likes to play. He likes to play Jet with the operator, and we're seeing a lot of utility thrown here. The ult goes out as well, but so far no pickoffs, just incidental damage. And of course, the minute I say that, Def makes me a liar, and Poise follows up. But ob-wiz punishes Def with that operator. Again, very lethal with it. Loves to play these angles, and we see the res come out from Poised after putting the wall up. And again, that's the benefit of actually having a Sage on your squad. You can play this numbers advantage. So with the res, that now makes this a 5v3, and they're going to have control of Site A.
Yeah, and even the smokes, they still had it up. Brimstone actually pushed all the way up as well. So he's even watching it. At this point, I could see Built by Gamers probably looking for a save unless they could get a kill early. But Superman is in such a great position. If he loses this fight, yes, they could go for the retake here for BBG, but they're clueless right now. They have no idea. Now the recon dart's going to come out, though. That's going to spot him. So ob-wiz comes down, but he still loses the fight. He goes for that second kill, headshot onto Torque, and last one is at the heaven, and it's going to be Pain. No more pain for him. Psalm kills him with the Phantom to tie it up 4-4. At least, though, on that last round, the Hunter's Fury that came out on both sides, I saw 3 tags coming in from Psalm, coming in from that short, all thanks to that recon dart. I think they have to do a better job here for Built by Gamers to shoot that recon dart a little bit faster, and maybe they could have stayed alive and maybe turn it even around, because they were probably still going to commit towards that B side for Homeless.
You know, at the end of that, that was actually a really interesting dart from Torque, because the Sova dart revealed where they were, and then they got greedy. They took the peek and they got punished for it. In many ways, It's almost better if that dart finds nothing and they decide to stay with the save round. They kind of got punished for getting information, which is very, very rare in Valorant that that's the exchange. But
well, I mean, even then, like, Depp actually got the kill while he was nearsighted by that paranoia, so it was actually a lucky shot that turned things around. And even on this round, though, the force buy coming through for the defenders as ob-wiz close range makes it a 4 versus 4 here, Charmer.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ult by Brimstone before to give them the pick. It's very rare that somebody gets all the way caught in the corner that way. But again, Homeless has been beautiful at figuring out the tendencies. They've punished the predictability. And here we see ob-wiz with the flick, and now Poised finally gets a kill here on as well. And Lasky punishes somebody for peeking, goes for the satchel, doesn't quite connect it, but we can see this swing standoff. Nicholas gets the better end of that exchange, and we see ob-wiz gonna kind of fake and gets punished for stepping out, though. Goes into the crossfire of Superman, and now again it looks like this is going to be a round win for the attackers as they're clearing out. Nicholas wants to get this pick just to punish the economy a bit more, does get it on poised, but ultimately that's a round win for the side of Homeless.
Yeah, there was no way that Built by Gamers was going to be able to win that round. Excuse me. But just because on that 2 versus 2, you still had the Brimstone alive. So basically, Superman, all he did was line up his Molly once again, put it at that spike, and you saw ob-wiz. He threw that cloud burst. He tried to go for the defuse, but he heard that Molly burst out. So I was like, okay, well, at this point, the only thing I could do is look for kills, do the econ damage, because even if they got those 2 kills, I don't even think Built by Gamers had enough time to go for the defuse. So a nice play on that 2 versus 2. It was all ob-wiz basically on a defense, needed a little bit more help on the rotation, but nobody else was able to win those fights with the exception, I think, of Nicholas later on, like very late into the retake round. So it's going to be a little bit better. And Lasky gets the first kill with the showstopper.
That was a quick turnaround there, went over the head of foe before turning around and launching the rocket. And this is something we actually haven't seen them do quite yet. Homeless with a hard push right out of hookah, and it kind of catches Built by Gamers off guard. Again, I think Homeless is doing a great job of punishing the predictability. And here we see Def with a kill on Torque. And so again, this is a 5v3 scenario post-plant. All things are looking in favor of Homeless. Now, they did get that pick there, Built by Gamers did, to try to even this out a little bit, but Poised gonna get a headshot there, make that 2 to punish the push, and that's it. Easy, a round win for the attackers.
Yeah, and it was an eco there going through, at least for the team of Built by Gamers. So it's okay. I mean, they got, what, 2 kills on that one? Decent. I think they could have they wanted to try to do more because you had that person playing under that window, which I'm assuming was Payan as the Cypher there. So he had that shorty. He was trying to see if anybody's going to be able to jump out so he could get some kills jumping through, but probably did not expect a rocket jump showstopper to come across and land at his feet. And now that he built the economy at the same time too, it's changed on the defense. Something that, you know, a lot of the pros are kind of criticizing right now in terms of like, oh man, these double op setups, but it works. So let's see at least if Built by Gamers could take advantage of this, as they have ob-wiz pushing out towards the showers and connects onto Lasky. Now they probably think, okay, we don't have an op towards that B site anymore. Let's try to come through. But they will have another opera there looking back on the back site.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Torque on the Sova also has an operator, and we see a flurry of kills there. Beautiful exchange that actually goes in favor of the attackers to even things up.
Nice wall bang.
Now, Foe with 2 kills, though. Poised getting Psalm back up, but again, still numbers advantage BBG, and Torque says hello with his own operator. Foe finishes with a 3K, and they are answering back. This has been a very back and forth game. I like the ebb and flow so far. These are very evenly matched teams, and as I said, I kind of want to give some love to Homeless because, as you mentioned before, this is a team that has not played very much together. When you look at BBG, this is a squad that has a lot of time, a lot of chemistry. Homeless is kind of like the amateur slash, you know, semi-pro equivalent of a pickup squad, and they are really bringing it to BBG.
Definitely, and my mistake on that previous round. So they had 2 ops on the A side, which was quite interesting. This time it's a little bit more default, right? You see ob-wiz operating here towards short A. You have the other op of Torque that's looking back towards the hookah, sorry, as ob-wiz connects onto depth. And we'll talk about the Homeless team during halftime. Let's just focus on the action for now. Target revealed as he's going to have to dash back towards the back of the site as he's still located by the APC. So he's going to look back towards the showers. You're going to have that race moving through. The camera's going to help, and Lasky falls down. Early 5-on-3, you did have a fake coming through from the shadows so that we could gain that information from that omen, but Foe is not going to spawn anybody really. Actually, he canceled it, so I'm assuming that he did. So he knows that they're actually playing really far back towards the spawn side. So that's why you don't see much rotations coming through yet from Built by Gamers. So they're still holding back, rotating at least a Brimstone of Nicholas moving forward. So 3 on A, 2 on B. But the attacker side of Homeless are actually slowly crawling their way on to take the advantage of numbers on this B side.
Yeah, and they are going to get a little bit of an element of surprise simply because the drone from Torque on the defense there did miss the initial push. So as we can see here, we got 2 working their way into the garden. The utility's coming down, and they're going to try to push onto site because with only 25 seconds to go, you've got to win some battles. Torque denies that, but 2 quick trades there from Sam and Poised. Again, they have to win this firefight and get the spike down. Poised picks off ob-wiz, so that's the operator's gone, but 10 seconds and counting takes 4 full seconds to plant, so somebody's got to get it down now. You can hear them trying. And they do actually get the spike planted here, so now we have a 2v2. Poised is going to wall up, so that means that they know where they need to watch, but Pain punishes them on the swing peak there. And now it's just Psalm playing elbow, and he's got to win this 2v1. Gets 1 trade, does not get the other. This will be a defuse, and we're going to be all tied up at the half, 6-6.
Yeah, very well played there by Built by Gamers. I do like that 3 versus 2, though. Despite you saying, Charmer, that the time was low, they could have maybe swung out and get the kill. They played it a smarter way, but also even props to Homeless to make sure that they don't push out. The only thing that denied the defenders from rotating out and swinging out and getting that kill was just one simple arrow dart that went towards that entrance of the CT spawn, just towards that top. So as soon as you walked out into the entrance, you were spotted. So it was a great way for them to throw that dart up, put that plant, and play the post-plant situation, but even better on that 3 versus 2 for Built by Gamers to take it back. So to start things off here on this first map, best out of 3, you're saying that it's very close. It is super close so far, at least based on numbers. We'll see at least if one of these teams are more comfortable here on the defender side or attacker side for either of these teams, and we'll soon find out as we're tied up 6-6.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what Built by Gamers does on offense. As I said before, we know ob-wiz likes to play operator, sometimes even on attack. I don't think they'll go double, and quick firefight there in the showers. Nicholas gets the better of Def, and so now we see BBG pushing out onto Site A. This is going to be a Roomba that finds folks immediately, but does get shot down. 6 health in a dream. Lasky does eventually fall here to ob-wiz. Gets the grenade out, got a little bit of incidental damage there, but not a lot to really write home about. And the spike has been planted. They're taking their post-plant positions here. They've got a huge numbers advantage now over Homeless. It's a pistol round, though, so you're not really looking to save. You kind of want to get some kills here, probably ruin their economy a bit. ob-wiz picks up Supa Peekin, and ob-wiz with a 3K. That's going to be a flawless on the side of BBG.
The burst classic from ob-wiz, rather. I love to see it. I mean, this guy, I've been following him since the early days of all of his other games that he played. I mean, from Call of Duty to Counter-Strike to now this. This guy is like a god fragger, right? One of the boomers into the esports scene, pretty much. I think he's like early 30s right now in terms of age, but could still frag very much like the young guns. And so it's very, very nice to see. We wanted to talk a little bit about the roster here from Homeless, right? So if you're looking at this roster, Superman used to play for Echo 8 with Aaron, did a very good job in the beta days, and one of the big fraggers actually for Echo 8. Psalm and Def, actually, you guys know him, of course, from Fortnite and from CSGO, but they played together at a last tournament. I would like to say it was the T1 Nerd Street Gamers, and I guess they had some good synergy, and they wanted to continue with that. They pick up Lasky, that has a lot of experience playing CSGO all the way to the MDL days of like season, I think it was 2 years ago in like the 2018, 2017. And then last but not least, a very young fragger of Poised, a Canadian player that also comes from CSGO. So you have a roster of 4 CSGO players and a Fortnite player looking to build this synergy and move forward. At least they have the aim. They're actually being able to put such a good fight against BBG right now. 7-6 on that scoreline as we're seeing them on the attack once again to get that spike down versus the eco here, Charmer.
Yeah, that's a beautiful spike, and it's very interesting to me anyway. Whenever I see the spike go down and there are no kills, no damage thrown out on either side, that is a great use of utility and execution from the attacking squad. And now we have this standoff. We've got a 5v5 here on site A, and now Def with the shorty punishes before Torque and ob-wiz pick up kills, both with the Bulldogs, kind of putting that money from the first round to use. Foe with this Phantom picks off Lasky, and you're now seeing this numbers advantage in terms of credits work in the favor of the opposing squad. Now it's up to just Psalm, but he falls to Torque. So AKs, assault rifles, excuse me, that's the word I'm looking for. Assault rifles, not vandals, not AKs. Really on display there, right? Because of the flawless in the pistol round, we had a really superior arms advantage. You had Bulldogs, you had the Phantom. So we expect that to be a round that goes in favor of BBG. But now, if they played their economy right, and we expect them to, we should have a full buy from the side of Homeless, and we'll see how they can defend when the odds are a bit more even.
Yeah, but you still saw slight mistakes going on there from Built by Gamers at that point. On that, when who was it that was able to pick up? I think it was Som, right? Som was able to come out, pick up a Bulldog. He even spotted the Cypher that was hiding inside that cubby. I like to call that cubby towards Ninja, the double stack, and still has time to pick up a Bulldog, switch over to that, get the first kill and almost a second kill. So there's a communication rather going on for these for this team, at least on that post plan situation. That hopefully they can maybe fix it into the further rounds. If not, it could start looking very costly for Built by Gamers as we continue to progress through these rounds. So now at least Lasky, his position is located now at the right side of the showers that's coming in from the attacker side, of course. But we are taking TP, and we're trying to move here towards this B side for Built by Gamers. And actually, it's all around the world. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to loop all the way back around, and I absolutely love this. Now, the good news for Built by Gamers here is that they have not the good news for Built by Gamers is they've not fooled the opposing squad completely, and I say that's good news because that means that they've slowed down. They're going to be walking into this. They didn't run blind. I've been in some pub groups where sometimes you just absolutely think that you've fooled your opponents, and well, of course, then again they make me a liar. Every time I say this, they make me a liar. That is an easy 3K for Def. They walk into an absolute ambush. I thought for sure, no way Built by Gamers is just going to walk in thinking this is uncontested, right? They have to know that they were found out. But no, I was made a liar.
Yeah, I just had to figure out what Homeless kind of did to be like, have they studied their strats before here for Built by Gamers to say, hey, they've done this before, they're probably going to go back towards A. Because for Built by Gamers, they took the teleporter, they also had Omen, then actually threw the fake smokes. So Foe actually threw a smoke towards J-Hall, also one towards spawn side, but yet nobody has rotated from the A side over to B. And then Def had a perfect crossfire with Lasky from the showers and also from the U-Haul. And even a wall bang to start things off here in the face of ob-wiz as they double push towards this orb to try to take control of it probably early in the round.
Yeah, and you see Def there with some additional wall bangs, just trying to see if anybody else was there. We see Poised gets this kill on Foe as well. And as I said before, Homeless very, very aware of what the opposing squad is trying to do. You can see the wall bangs attempted here as well, and you just kind of get the feeling that they have studied BBG here. They know what they are expecting. Lasky gets this kill on Pain as well, and all of a sudden, BBG is 2v5 here trying to push in. You see Torque here on the Sova. Now, this is an eco round for them because they are just rocking Ghosts, but I really appreciate everything I'm seeing from the side of Homeless in terms of anticipation. They seem to have BBG's number. Every time they try to take up a new spot, they're already there waiting.
Definitely. Now they're only with an eco with the last two players. I think it's pretty much not going to happen. There's already a trap wire set up from Def as well. So, okay, so they shoot that out at least. The smokes are going to come through. Lassy's going to get spotted at Tetris, but he's just jumping around, throwing paint shells at the same time too. Oh, but he loses a fight, so he gets wallbang headshotted. But Def is in a great position now. 13 seconds left on the clock. It's not going to happen. Gets the last two kills. Making it 8-8 and only losing one player versus Pistols is actually very good here for Homeless to try to continue with their economy here on the defender side. If you're looking at the attacker, you can see they don't have enough money. You did say it here, Charmer, that ob-wiz loves to play that operator, but they don't have that money so he could actually afford it to buy it. I mean, maybe Torque could have bought him an operator and then ob-wiz buys him a rifle with that. But maybe Torque at that point would have to play small armor, which is basically maybe not something that they want to do yet for their side. So you see them all bunched up towards this fountain side. They really want to try to maybe change the pace and just move aggressively to try, as a group, to take the B side.
And we can see them pushing up into the garden area here. This is going to be a 4-person push onto Site B. Cypher was lurking, so that was Pain kind of creeping for BBG, trying to get some picks on the way back, but now he's going to be kind of racing over to see if he can come up, maybe get somebody on the flank through Hookah here as well. And this is a beautiful orbital strike coming out to push people off of the tin there so that they can move into position, but Superman picks off ob-wiz, Poised, and now Superman again getting even more picks. So as they funnel in, they're getting mowed down.
And now it's a 1 versus 1. Pain does get the first kill. There's 52 seconds left on the clock. Still plenty of time to work with. At 100 HP, and 50 shields pretty much for both of these players. He's going to have to come head-to-head against that Brimstone. That Brimstone being played by Superman, who falls back towards the spawn side. Pan picks up that spike, trying to clear it out first. He assumes that it's now clear, so he might go for a plant quite soon. Actually, he's going to walk through. This is going to be a 50-50 check, so it's going to be a gamble. He looks left, looks right, and he wins that fight versus Superman. And that was such a close round because it was such a nice hold by Superman from the hookah side window. On top of that, a showstopper coming in from Lasky to get that kill onto, I think it was Nicholas trying to move through on that 2 versus 2. So he had to come down to a clutch, but a very nice clutch played there for Built by Gamer. So they regain the lead in this matchup. It's 9-8.
Yeah, that was a beautiful kind of swing peak there at the end. You were 100% correct. It's a 50-50. They checked the wrong way. Don't get punished. So once they've done that, they kind of anticipate. They know. So when he came out, got the pre-fire going, and was able to kind of win that 1v1 duel. And this looks like it's going to be a very similar round. They're looking to push towards B yet again, but instead of just Pain on the Cypher lurking, we now have Sova watching that A short as well. And they're going to play it a little bit slow here, trying to get some picks. We're seeing Homeless pushed out a little bit more than we've seen so far on defense from them. They are not quite doing the Built by Gamers all the way push out of a site strategy here, but this is the most forward we've seen them play with 2 folks in hookah as they kind of watch that B site. And Built by Gamers does start moving over to A, but Def catches Pain in the showers, and now he's going to use the ult to know where they are. So the jig is up. They're pushing in through A short here. A lot of utility being used. We see the Hunter's Fury going out here. Foe gets a pick on Def, make that a pick again on Psalm as well. Lasky taking down ob-wiz though, and that is a big blow. Superman takes down Foe before Torque finishes Lasky, and all of a sudden we have this 2v2 face-off. We're gonna see, I think, a Sage Wall come up here so they can get some elevation, and with 2 folks here kind of creeping out of the U-Haul area, now they know exactly where they are from the arrow, and that is a mow down, and that's yet another time where the Sova arrow, while it gives you information, has kind of punished you in many ways.
Yeah, it worked out so well, though, at least for Built by Gamers. You're going to have that res come up here to just try to build that economy back up because they lost that previous round. They went for a full buy into this one. You could probably see that the money's going to be super low for them into this buy round, at least for the defender side. But when you looked at how they executed here for Built by Gamers, I got to give it to them. Unfortunately, because the Jit was given away, because Def actually won that fight versus Payin, he was able to actually throw a neural theft and then know where the attackers are coming from. So they did try to go for the execution no matter what. They had the In the Shadows coming out towards Heaven's side. They also had the Hunter's Fury to try to clear out towards you. They did get the plant rather, but they couldn't try to get rid. They weren't able to get rid of Lasky inside the U side. That was able to get like what 1 or 2 and actually make it harder for Built by Gamers to play on that pulse plant. Because of that rotation that came through, you did have the Omen Foe trying to look back towards that spawn side, but on 2 versus 1, nothing much you could do there. So force by at least coming through for BBG. Camera to come up as well, pushing forward another dink, but it's going to be the Stinger and some pistols bringing the work. Now Lasky saving his teammate. Foe getting a share of a headshot onto Boyd. We are rotating across, and we're still in the eyes of Lasky as they are still getting dropped. It comes down to a 2 versus 1, a 1 versus 1. We must say that this is such a good round because you are going to get a classic jump kill onto Lasky to give a chance here for Built by Gamers to win on a force buy with off a Stinger and what, two Ghosts and Classics. They still get that round.
Listen, I don't want to hear anything about the operator being overpowered or OP ever again, because apparently jump shotting with the Classic is all you need to win that exchange. That was absolutely impressive.
And apparently that nerf doesn't do anything either, right? Because like I said, they nerfed the jump Classic on that last patch, but they're still showing how accurate or how good it could be, which is fine. Because me coming from Counter-Strike 1.6, I love jump block burst, and it's nice to see it on a Classic on a game here like Valorant.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly makes for very, very fun viewing on our end. And now we see these defensive positions kind of, again, being pushed up a little bit more and more every round from Homeless as they try to catch people lurking. But this time it's Pain who wins the exchange with Def. So earlier, Def had fallen in the showers, but this time Pain gets the better of him. And now we have a numbers advantage, but they are still kind of playing for picks. They're not overcommitting to this A site despite having the win there. But with the neural theft going out, they know exactly where everyone are. They're still going to back up, play it safe. I think they're doing that to potentially draw folks out. We see ob-wiz with this operator, as I said before, likes to play it even on attack and was hoping that Homeless was going to push out here so you could catch a pick and then further your numbers advantage. But now it would seem they're going to be creeping towards Hookah. And as we know, poised here, laying in wait, as is Psalm. He's got the Bucky, and he punishes Nicholas for coming around the corner. Gonna miss this time around though, and that's gonna be a nice blind from Foe.
Yeah, but they're actually falling back from that actually, because they do have poise that's actually going to throw a slow or on the ground. They're actually booking it towards the A side. Everybody's rotated actually. There's only 10 seconds left. They have to move in quick. If actually you do have Lasky that still has paint shells or still has dazzle charges, it's over. Now the plan is going to start, but Lasky is all the way towards Heaven still. Hunter's Fury is going to come out from Psalm, but it's not going to get the kill, so they still managed to get the plant. Now they're moving forward. Lasky on a rotation, wall banks onto ob-wiz. ob-wiz trying to peek back, but it doesn't fire and connect onto Lasky. So now you have a 4-on-3 situation, and he repeats. This guy is so gutsy. Poise now forces self-heal as he gets a headshot onto Foe, as Psalm is now moving forward with this the Bucky, as they're now trying to retake the A side, picks up the Phantom, and you can see them now falling back. What a nice play there from BBG. A last-second gamble on this plan, a kill from ob-wiz, kind of sealed the deal and gave a chance here for Built by Gamers to take the lead now by 2.
Yeah, that was phenomenal from the side of Built by Gamers. Tenths of a second to spare, still gets the spike planted, backs away into good positions, almost lost ob-wiz, as you said, to that one shot, but ob-wiz takes a moment, collects himself, gets a big breath, and then says, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna re-peek, I'm gonna peek the op, and wins the exchange. So very, very impressive. Because of that, they're now up 11-9, which is the biggest lead we've seen all game is, I think, 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's really running away with this.
3 actually from that first half, you could see, but everything else, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maximum 2 on each side.
So again, this is very, very close, and we're going to see a lot of action here in A short right out of the gate here. Lasky got tagged there, and Payne finishes Def off, so this is going to be BBG now likely pushing into site A, trying to get control of it. We see ob-wiz with the classic out because he also has that operator, so he's hunting through U-Haul. But everybody else is on the CT side. They're stacked in Heaven. They're trying to come through that area. All the utility is down, so yes, the spike's been planted, but they're going to have to be patient before they push out, or they're going to get punished because they're all funneling out of the same location. And now we see them dropping out of Heaven and pushing out from short. Superman popping off with the Sheriff. That is 3 kills with what I call the Yeehaw revolver, and they're going for the defuse, and it's up to Foe here to try to keep them off of it. He's not going to be able to. Does get the kill before Superman gets that 4K with the Sheriff.
Dude, they were on an eco in that round pretty much, right? They saved 1 or 2 rifles from that previous round, then the rest forced up on Sheriffs, and they had a perfect execution at least for the attackers of Built by Gamers. They threw a recon arrow as well into the site that actually hit Lasky in the chest. So he had no choice but to fall all the way back towards the pipe of the defender side. If not, he was going to get wallbanged at some point. So they had perfect positioning here for the attacker side to play Pulse Plant. But Superman, like I said, key player for Echo 8 in his past roster, also an ex-pro Crossfire player with Aaron back then as well. A champion too at that point. He just annihilated every single person with headshot Sheriffs. Tap, tap, 1, 2, 4 kills at the end of the round. And I gotta say, on that 2 versus 1, you still have to give it for Sage, for Poise. The amount of time that he danced left and right to avoid the bullets, to give a chance for Superman to go for the defuse, that was a key play for him as well. So a great job for Homeless, 11-10, still money for Built by Gamers to buy into this round. And it's starting off with a lot of ultimates that started at the beginning of the round. So I heard an Orbital Strike, and I heard of Hunter's Fury. So that means that 1 came from the attacker side, 1 came from the defender side, but it's still going to be a 5 versus 5 with all these players full health and falling back towards the A side where it's been the most successful here for Built by Gamers. They're going to try it one more time, but the good thing here at least is that the Cypher's not there to help him with the camera or anything. Orbital start to come out as well on the attacker side too, and Tom still gets the kill onto ob-wiz. At least it's traded out. It's a 4 versus 4. Lasky's inside the site, and he's waiting for his teammates to rotate.
That was a beautiful kill from Psalm coming out, pushed out by the Orbital, but still manages to survive and get a kill before falling. Lasky here catches Torque with the rocket though, and so that's going to put things in favor of Homeless in terms of numbers. However, the teleport and quick plant here means that BBG might get this down and get into some post-plant positions. They, again, are 2v3, make that 1v3, though. Payne popping off, though, with a 3K, so now it's a 1v1. He's got a great position. He's got the camera to watch as well, and all he has to do is play this spike and be patient. Doesn't need to get the kill necessarily, just needs to stall, and he's doing a good job of doing just that. So they kind of trade back and forth, but the wallbang headshot from Lasky, and that's going to be a defuse, and we're going to be tied 11-11.
And that should be an eco coming in for Built by Gamers as well. What a nice play there by Lasky. At that point, when he threw that satchel charge over the tin can, over what I call tuna can as well, he kind of gave his position away, which would have given Payne a perfect position on it 1 versus 1 to know how to play it. So he tried to play the angle knowing that his opponent was going to swing towards that left side, but he couldn't connect. And Lasky, being a Counter-Strike player that he is, well, spamming through walls is something that's normal for a Counter-Strike player. So he was able to basically go for the guest shots and finally win that fight on that 1 versus 1. But still, you got to give it for Payne. It was a 3 versus 1 at that point. You had Poise that actually went for a wide swing through a Molotov to actually get a kill on that 3 versus 2. So Homeless, they're playing very, very gutsy at this point, and it's paying off. We have another amazing matchup that's super close by Built by Gamers. This time 11-11. Like I said before, they won against 100B lifted 14-12 in the overtimes of their best out of 3. It's looking to be something similar in this best out of 3 themselves.
So Payne and Duff both with a couple of kills here as the action starts to heat up. You were right earlier. You'd called that BBG is on a partial eco. 2 of the players have SMGs, and we see Psalm taking down Torque there with a headshot and the kill feed as well. So we have a numbers advantage and an arms advantage in favor of Homeless. BBG has planted though, so they're taking these post-plant positions, but these shock darts from Psalm are just punishing Nicholas, who is kind of trapped there. Payne gets a kill on Superman though. Poised with this res though, again, sageless comp from BBG, and that might come back to haunt them. And that's going to be it. Payne with the 3K allows for the defuse to go out, and we're at match point.
Well, what can BBG do at this point now? They have money. They could buy small shields if they want to on one of the players as well, because I only saw $3,400, and I think that was on the Sova, if I'm not mistaken. But they do have enough money to go for full shields if they wanted to. There you go. So you do have small shields for 3 of the players. Payne, Torque, and Nicholas actually are the ones with the small shields. You have ob-wiz full shields with Phantoms. So Phantoms all across the board. And I do like the fact that you're going with small shields because you need those utilities. So they are buying full utilities. 2 Shark Darts coming through as well. Psalm picking up the orb as well to pick up his Hunter's Fury. So things are looking quite good, at least for the defender side. Homeless has a Neural Theft, and they have a Hunter's Fury for maybe a post-plant position or an attempt to prevent the plant from coming through. So this is going to be a hard feat now for BBG. Can they bring this into overtime?
Yeah, they've got their work cut out for them, but we've seen both sides be very, very strong in eco positions, and we see them pushing out with that plant right now, just like you were talking about. We see the Hunter's Fury going out, but while that's happening, Foe gets that kill on Def, so they do get a pick. Now the spike is officially planted, so they can start playing this, and we're going to see the drone come out from Psalm as he tries to figure out where they're hiding, and Lasky picks off Payne to even the numbers up a little bit. And we see Psalm taking down Nicholas now as well, so they're doing a great job of pushing in so they can get this defuse.
Nice!
Torque picks one off. Lasky and Psalm finishing it off though, so now it's up to ob-wiz to solo defend this. It is 2v1. Oh, make that 1v1, but he misses the swing. ob-wiz falls to Psalm with the headshot, and that's gonna be it. Congratulations to Homeless for taking the first map in a very close game.
13-11, down to the wire, onto a 2 versus 1, where I wouldn't want anybody else but ob-wiz to try to clutch that 2 versus 1 for the team, but unfortunately could not connect onto that last frag. And a nice defuse coming through, a nice battle release in the series that shows us how good this series is looking so far, because we still have another map to go. We still have to decide this, unfortunately, what map that is going to be, because we don't know. So we're just going to wait once we get into the lobby. But so far, what are your thoughts on this matchup here?
I think that the matchup is very well balanced, and I'm actually really surprised. Normally, one of the stats that I really like to pay attention to when I'm looking to see how things turned out is first bloods.
Yep.
Typically, in these kinds of matchups, these kinds of events, if your team gets a first blood, it usually gives you a numbers advantage, and you can snowball from there. So when we're looking at this, we actually see that BBG won the first blood battle. They had more first bloods. That means they had a numbers advantage more frequently, but they still
Correct.
fell behind. So I know we've kind of mentioned it a couple of times. They do play a sageless squad. Those resurrects came in handy. I don't know if that's going to be a difference maker or not. Will Built by Gamers actually break out a Sage for the first time this event, or are they going to continue this sageless roster, do you think?
I think they're going to continue with the Sageless roster since they did it since yesterday. And at the same time, the comps that they have maybe doesn't justify into this map. But when you're looking at other ones, when they have Sageless comps, you have a Phoenix that actually plays with a Raze as well. So that means that you kind of have some support, right? You have some duelists, for example, with ob-wiz, but ob-wiz kind of does his own thing. He does his own cloud burst. He could actually play one ways with his own smokes. He actually uses the operator to try to get the entries if he could, but at least somebody to help out with the Phoenix usually played by foe, to move out with the curveballs to support him. Well, a Raze is going to be another one that could swing out with the pain shells, with the trades that could actually help for big executions for BBG into their execution. So I think that we're going to see that come out into the next map, depending what the next map is going to be. We're soon going to find that out. But at least now we can give you guys a score update for the group, because we are covering Group A, right? So Group A that we mentioned was a group of death. You do have TSM that actually did win the third map versus 100 Thieves. So that means if you're looking at the record now for each of these teams,